These episodes are not quite perfect. In fact, I dare say they're heavily flawed. The plot, it makes no sense. The villain's plan is dense, but by God, that climax goes so fucking hard. Let's talk about A Canterlot Wedding. This is the entire last part of the Season 2 tier list. Because I know I'm going to be here a while. I am loquacious to a fault as is. And there's a lot to say, so let's get into it. The plot of A Canterlot Wedding, Twilight, and the gaggle of gals, plus Spike, of course, are having a picnic. Spike shows up, hands them a couple letters. The first letter is from Celestia saying, Twilight, I was like, Twilight, you and your friends are requested to help out at the upcoming wedding. Fluttershy, music with the birds. Rainbow Dash, do a big, cool sonic rainboom for the bride and groom. Applejack, catering. Rarity, I think Rarity, works on, Rarity, work on the dresses. Pinkie Pie, you're the party bitch. Do it. And Twilight, organize everything and blah, 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 blah. And so Sparks and the girls are like, oh, cool, dope. Who the fuck's getting married? Spike's like, oh, might be. Should have given you this one first. All right, blah, 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 blah. Cordially invited to the wedding of Princess Miyamore, Cadenza, and Shining Armor. And the rest of the girls are like, okay, who the fuck is Cadenza and who the fuck is Shining Armor? To which she says, I have no idea who Cadenza is. Shining Armor's my brother. Cut to the intro. And they're like, you have a brother? Not just a brother, a baby BFF. What? Big brother, best friend forever. And then she has this song about, he's my big brother, best friend forever, etc., etc. Which, I always think of the Friendship is Witchcraft version, where it's that one part like, Twilight, please make this song end. We're a bunch of floating heads, and that part just always makes me laugh. So the reason, I think instead of just going, this is what happens in the episode, and then going beat by beat, I oh god, I just have to talk about everything all at once. The first problem with this episode is Shining Armor. And it is nothing about Shining Armor himself. I actually really like his design. I love his color scheme. I love his cutie mark of, the shield with the stars and shit in it. Because he works security. He is, I believe he is captain of the Royal Guard. I don't mind the fact that Twilight has a brother. I don't mind the fact that she's very close to her brother. Twilight in Season 1 is this very reclusive, sardonic piece of shit, and it's great. And we see her come out of her shell throughout the season, and she's definitely out of her shell come Season 2. The idea that's you know what, I never had friends or those close relationships, but there was one exception, and it was my brother, because my brother's dope as hell, I think is really nice. My problem, why did we never hear of that in the first 50 episodes of the show? For her brother to not only be the captain of the Royal Guard, so pretty fucking important, and also someone she's that close to, it feels weird that we never saw him. He wasn't working security at the gala? Or at the gala? At all? I don't know, when Discord's causing shit, and they go to Canterlot to find the elements of harmony, he's not there helping to work security or to stop shit? When Rarity is a very important pony that every pony should know, he's not anywhere in Canterlot? That one's more believable, but I could see him showing up here. This one was I know episode by episode. This one, where, Twilight is freaking out about this possible calamity going on. She doesn't call up her brother, someone she's very close to who works security, and it's yo bro, there might be some shit that happens. Or when they're in Canterlot trying to sneak into the Star Swirl, the Bearded Wing, he's not one of the dudes working security. Could have introduced him there, so it would at least be believable. Okay. Like, no other episodes here I think I'd really fuck with that. But you can see what I mean of, it feels like there are episodes where Shining Armor could have been introduced. Not even, like, you don't even have to do crazy shit with him. Just, like, mention, yeah, she has a brother. Because it feels weird to me. Not just the fact that she has, because, like, I have friends who have family members that they rarely talk about. Not because they have bad relationships with them, they just don't talk about them. It just never came up. That's fair, that's understandable. But for her to have a song about how he's my big brother, best friend forever, he is the one friend I ever had, putting a fucking pin in that, by the way, Cadence. He's the only friend I ever had, and he's never brought up before he's needed. Just from me, from like the writing perspective of that, I'm like, that bothers me. That bothers me a lot. He could have been mentioned before so that the, like, you know, the viewer, the audience kind of has it in their mind. Like, oh, Twilight has a brother. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Oh, he's like works security at Canterlot. That's dope as hell. I really want to see him. And then when this happens, like, I finally get to meet the brother. This is sick as fuck. It doesn't feel like you're pulling shit out of your ass. Which is why it bothers me. Moving on. So Twilight and the gaggle of gals, the Remain 5. I think I'm going to be probably calling them that a lot throughout these videos. I actually really like the Remain 5. The Remain 5 and Spike go to Canterlot, have a meeting with Celeste, have a meeting with Shining Armor. It's like, Twily, sis, I'm so happy to see you. And she's like, shut the fuck up. You're getting married. Bro, I didn't even know you were dating somebody. What is this shit? You didn't even come tell me in person that you're getting married? How dare you? And he's like, Twily. First off, sorry. Really busy. A lot of shit's been going on. Second off, a lot of shit has been going on. A threat has been made against Canterlot, putting a second giant fucking pin at the wall because, wow, this is stupid in hindsight. A threat has been made against Canterlot. As a result, I have been very busy. A lot of my time has been occupied. But let me tell you about my bride. Princess Miamore Cadenza is Cadence. And Twilight's like, oh, I know who that is. Cadence was her old foal sitter, her old babysitter. A fucking alicorn princess. Who was really close to Twilight. Who Twilight really liked. You know? Kind of like a friend. You know? The things she didn't have. You know? The things she said in the song at the start of this episode she didn't have any of, but at least she had her brother. They already can't keep this shit consistent. So that leads to problem number 2. So let me pull that pin out of the wall. Not the threat against Canterlot, the other one. Cadence. I don't like Cadence. And there's a couple reasons for that. Problem with Cadence number 1 is the exact shit I just said about Shining Armor. This is a character who is clearly very important to the protagonist, who was never brought up before. Only exactly when they're needed. And again, just from a writing perspective, when you've had 50 other episodes, and even if you didn't know about it at the time, at least 26 to bring them up in some capacity, like, I don't know, this one? maybe that wouldn't have been such a bad idea. Or, I don't know, the best night ever, the big-ass fucking party in Canterlot where there's a third fucking princess. You could have brought her up there. You could have referenced her there. Which leads me to problem number 2. It's not just that, oh yeah, Twilight had another friend that she was really close to that we never knew about, despite the fact that she never fucking had friends. You're telling me there's a third Alicorn? I thought that was just a Celestia and Luna thing. Like, I know it happens where there's, like, Alicorns in the background and shit, and that, like, gets memed about and joked about, but this isn't just like, oh shit, here's a gag in the background or an accident. This is a whole-ass new character, and it's not just, she's an Alicorn and that's weird. She is name-dropped as Princess Miyamori Cadenza. It's not just Celestia, it's not just Luna, it's Cadance too. Why the fuck have we never heard about this person? Why the fuck do we have no lore on this person? I get it. It's My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. I'm not expecting Game of Thrones level lore. I'm not expecting Lord of the Rings level lore. I'm just asking to keep your shit consistent. And for the most part, that's not a problem. But here, where it's like, we can't keep Twilight never having friends consistent, because now she got 2 when before there were none. 2. Fuck damn it, the fucking Axel gif. I've been quoting it for like 2 fuck! I've been quoting it for weeks. I hate it. Oh, it's so funny to me. It was like, now she has 2. Okay. Now, when we thought there were only 2 princesses, now there's a third one, completely out of nowhere. Like, how the fuck does this fit in? She's not, again, she's never brought up before this. It feels like total bullshit. Wait, you mean to tell me you added a new character who's has like a very unique design, is a princess, has a close relationship to the main character that we've never heard of before, is about to marry the main character's brother and be a part of her family, and is also just a nice fucking person. This is the most like Mary Sue OC shit I've ever heard. And you know what? If Cadance was really cool, I could maybe forgive it. I've talked in my Ruby videos about how much of a nothing burger Oscar is. Oscar has this great setup for a character arc about how I am the next vessel of this, like, important soul who has lived forever. And it is an honor to be part of that system, because, like, this dude's super important, but it is going to literally kill me and erode my soul away until I am just his vessel. And I am terrified because I am going to die, and there's nothing I can do about it. Fuck that is interesting. Fuck that is tragic. Fuck he is boring, because they do nothing with it for most of the show. They don't give him, like, these are the things that Oscar really likes to do. These are the relationships he has. It's just, when they talk about it, I'm like, this is interesting. I just wish there was a character to erode away. Now, Cadance does not have that, but to me it's the same thing of, you're just kind of boring. I mean, to be fair, it's not like she has much to do in this for reasons we will get to in terms of the plot, but from what I remember, it's not like she's that much of an interesting character later anyways. Like, she's just there to sell Alicorn toys. And that's not the show's fault. They don't control what shit Hasbro makes for them to do, I think. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. And they could have still made her really fun or really interesting. She's just nothing from what I remember. And maybe when I watch some of the later episodes, like the Crystal Empire or that Little Glass of Water episode with Discord, like, no, I take it back. Cadance is great. I sincerely hope I do. I hope I prove myself wrong. Because from what I remember, she's pretty boring, and it feels like a blatant ass OC out of nowhere, and it bothers me immensely. Getting back to the plot. So, Twilight finds out about Princess Mi Amore Cadenza, who's just an asshole. And Twilight's like, you know, I remember Cadence pretty well, despite the fact that I've never fucking talked about her before. I remember her really well, and this characterization does not match her. Something's weird. Throughout the episode, Cadence is overseeing different things like the food from Applejack and the dresses from Rarity and Pinkie Pie's partiness, and is just being like really mean and picky. And Twilight looks at this and goes, bitch, not good enough for my brother. While everyone else is like, she's a bride. Like, this is her special day. This is her wedding. If it's not up to her standards, it's not up to her standards. We are doing this for her. It's okay that she's like this. She's probably really stressed, and we need to make this good for her. With Twilight just kind of going, yeah, she's a bitch. Goes to talk to Shining Armor about it, and they get interrupted, and Twilight oversees Cadence using this, like, baleful green magic on Shining Armor, and his eyes going all, ooh, and she's like, oh, she's evil! I was right! One for Sparks! So during the rehearsal, Twilight walks in and it goes, she's evil. And I love the way she says it. I think it's so funny. It's like, why are you doing this to me? Because you're evil. And Twilight's so happy to say it. And it's so funny. But she basically like, I am objecting to the wedding because you're a fucking piece of shit. Cadence runs out crying and Twilight's like, yeah, fuck you. And Shining Armor goes, Twily? Fuck you. That is my wife, like, about to be my wife, and the reason she is so stressed, the reason he's like, this is why this is happening, why this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. You are jumping to conclusions. Remember, Twilight? Jumping to conclusions is bad, isn't it, Twilight? Don't you need more evidence before you can do that, Twilight? Wasn't that just literally one fucking episode ago, Twilight? Anyways, Shining Armor's like, Twilight, don't even come to the wedding tomorrow. You fucked up, and then leaves. The remain 5, none of them confront Twilight or comfort her. They all are just like, nah, he's right, and walk off. And Celestia just tells her, you have a lot to think about, and also walks off. So again, her brother, her 5 best friends, and her teacher all tell her to go fuck herself. Her brother, I think, is justified here. He's like, that's my wife. You just, again, fiance, they're not married yet, but it's like, this is the woman I'm about to marry tomorrow, and you just made a fucking scene. And you have, like, no grounds for anything you're saying. This is fucked. Her friends know her. Like, you remember that episode when Twilight was freaking out about something and they didn't take her concerns seriously? That's kind of what they do here. And again, they're like, Twilight, it just seems like you're being overprotective of your brother, which sure, that's not wrong. But I don't know, maybe take her concerns seriously? Maybe, listen to her or talk to her after and not just ignore her. I just think that's really fucked up. It's not that Twilight is in the right, although she is, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's, I mean, bro, someone do something for her, man. But then Cadence comes back and Twilight apologizes. Like, she starts crying. She's like, I'm so sorry. I realized that I fucked up. I realized that I was wrong. To which Cadence responds, like, her eyes flash green, goes, "You will be." And then the same... as much shit as I've been talking about these episodes, and as much shit as I'm about to talk, this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole fucking series. When that just baleful green fire, like, envelops Twilight, it circles her, and you get that image of Cadence just staring at her with this evil smile amidst the flames, as Twilight falls into the depths of hell, as Cadence just walks off, looks behind her, sees Twilight fall, smirks, and like, fuck, that is such a cool sequence. Man, this episode is bad, but fuck, that was cool. Damn it! Damn it, it's working. I hate it. I'm so upset. So then part 2 starts with Twilight in this cavern of all these crystals and shit, with Cadence's face reflecting on all of them, which of course made me think of the fucking Key and Peele Funhouse skit of, "Oh, detective, where am I? Mirror, mirror." It's just so funny. It's so good. But anyways, Twilight's trapped, and Cadence like, yeah, bitch, you're trapped. Like, these are like the old catacombs. People barely know this place exists. This is what you get for defying me. Oh, I've got so many plans for your brother. Just taunting her like that. This is cool. This is really cool. This is so fun. Oh, man. I can maybe forgive how kind of jank that first part was. Oh, this is cool. And then Twilight, like, shoots a laser, which is, like, bouncing off the different crystals and, like ricocheting everywhere. And Cadence is just laughing at her. And then Twilight blows a hole through the wall and sees Cadence all scratched up and fucked up and like, "You bitch!" and fucking tackles her and pins her and is about to blow her to smithereens. And then Cadence does their little dance, you know, "Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake, clap your hooves and do a little shake." And Twilight's like, "Oh shit, you're the real Cadence. What the fuck is happening?" So I think at that point, Cadence explains the basics of, like, changelings. Maybe that's a little bit later, because this around the time when the song happens. The song is so good! It's the best song in Season 2! It's better than the songs in Season 1! And Best Night Ever is a great song! I think Winter Wrap-Up is a better song, but the This Day aria is fucking perfect. It's a Disney villain song. This day is going to be perfect. Kind of day of which I dreamed since I was small. I love it. I fucking love how the song looks. I love how it sounds. I love the vibe. I love how the same singer is singing both. It's a duet between the villain trying to take, like, "I am going to take the husband and no one can stop me," and the actual bride, like, being so desperate to go, like, to find him and stop the wedding so she can actually marry her husband, and how it's the same voice playing both parts but managing to make them sound like different fucking people. It's so good! And I remember hearing, like, an English cover, like, a male cover of the song, and a couple lines were changed. Like, instead of, "I could care less about the dress, I won't partake in any cake," the line was, "I care not a thing about the ring, I won't partake in any." And I was like, oh, I think that's kind of neat. That's cool. And then the other's like, "No, I do not love the groom, for in my heart there is no room." Instead it was, what was it? Fuck. Brain stop for a second. Oh, that's it. "No, I do not love the bride, for my heart is dead inside." Like, oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot, especially when you see what a changeling looks like. They look like a literal fucking corpse. "My heart is dead inside." Fuck, that's cool. Damn it! The episode's working! I hate that it's working! You're not supposed... It's song is goated as fuck. And then Twilight and Cadence get accosted by Cadence's former bridesmaids, one of which is Lyra, who actually gets a line in the first part of the episode, and it's the first time Lyra talked in the show, and I was like, that's dope as fuck. Anthropology. Fuck, I really like Anthropology, actually. I really like that song. And then they're like, you're not going anywhere. It's like, fuck, dude, we have, like, zombie bridesmaids? Fuck, this is really cool. Man, I thought it was dog shit. And I mean, it wasn't like, man, I'm on board. And then they crash the wedding. They objected. It's Twilight and actual Cadence. And fake Cadence, like, how did you get past my bridesmaids? And actually, it was super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, we just kind of took the little bridal bouquet and threw it, and they were like, mine! And then we just kept walking, like, oh, okay. Okay, anticlimactic, but funny. It's funny. Okay. So then, now that Cadence is confronting Cadence, Cadence transforms into her changeling form. Which, again, it looks like the combination of a corpse, an insect, and SpongeBob's holes. And that probably sounds stupid and weird, but I love the changeling designs. I'm remembering the season 6 finale where they get redesigned, and I hate the redesign. I think it looks terrible, because fuck, these things look cool. Especially the way they do Chrysalis, again, kind of like Garble, unnamed in the episode, but her name is Queen Chrysalis. The transformation into Chrysalis, specifically like her face, I think is a really neat ass fucking scene. Then I remember the plot. Because Chrysalis gives, like, the basic explanation, like, okay, a changeling, they feed on love, that's what makes them strong. She has been feeding off of Shining Armor. She took Cadence's place to feed off Shining Armor's love for her to be stronger, so she could, blah, 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 conquer Canterlot. I was like, she wants to Canterlot. Wait, that's wrong. To conquer Canterlot and take over the world, of course, and blah, 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 blah. And then Celestia's like, well, now that you foolishly revealed yourself, I'm about to beat your ass. And then she jobs because Chrysalis has sucked up so much love for Shining Armor. She's, like, doing lines of love. That's a really... Fuck, that sounds kind of cool. So now I'm actually imagining her just, like, snorting the love from him. And, like, this green shit going, like, oh, man, that's some good love, baby. It's such a weird mental image, but it kind of slaps. Anyway, she's like, dude, I just kicked Celestia's ass. I didn't even think I could do that. Holy shit, this is some good love. And then, it shows the changelings outside the bubble. I don't know if I brought that up. Shining Armor's been casting a giant barrier around Canterlot because of the threat, and so the changelings are outside trying to get in, and he's weakened enough now that they all get in and mass hysteria. Let me take the giant pen out of the wall, because this is when the episode gets bad again, and boy, is it bad. It's so bad. It breaks the episode. And I'm not talking about the climax that's about to happen, because that's amazing. Who made the threat against Canterlot? Because it never says. The implication would be Chrysalis, because she's the one causing trouble. She's the one that actually does the shit. So you assume the threat has been made by the person doing this shit, right? Why the fuck do you make that threat? Because your whole mission is based on stealth and subterfuge. Like, Chrysalis's plan fails what I like to call the said it out loud test. Something that's also gonna happen when we get to Equestria Girls. Because Sunset Shimmer's plan fails that test too. where, like, there is no feasible way this character ever said their plan out loud to another person, because if they did, they would realize how stupid it is. Chrysalis's plan is thus. I am going to make some kind of threat to the city. Thus, they are going to increase their security. While the security is in place, or like is heightened, I am going to sneak in. Which maybe she snuck in first, I don't know. I can almost give her that, but I can't fully because of later shit. I am going to sneak in and take the place of the bride. Someone who, like, everyone will have eyes on because they're the star of they're the star of the show. Because as it's a wedding, the bride is the belle of the fucking ball. Everyone's eyes are on me. And I am going to act so thoroughly out of character that anyone with 2 working brain cells would think something was off. I am going to hypnotize, the groom, so that way he can't tell anything is off. I am going to antagonize his sister and her friends. And after her sister outs me, and everyone takes my side, then I'm going to retaliate against the sister. Like, let me break this down step by step about why this is stupid. In case it's not obvious, but I'm loquacious to a fault. I want to talk about why this is all stupid. If your plan is subterfuge and subtlety, don't let your enemy know. Why would you, like, if my plan is to sneak into somewhere and kidnap and replace somebody, I wouldn't want them on edge. They're gonna be on edge enough because there's a wedding. Let's not make it any crazier. If I am trying, like, okay, I fucking hate Sherlock the show, but there's a thing I remember really liking, and it's the wedding episode, because the reveal at the end is the killer at the wedding is the wedding photographer. Like, who is the one person that sees everything that no one sees? The photographer. Like, that's actually kind of a clever idea. Why, if you are trying to make if I am trying to be fucking sneaky, I don't want to be the person who everyone has eyes on. You want to be like a bridesmaid that no one's gonna pay attention to. You want to be like the photographer. You want to be like the ring bearer. Someone who is not as important. You chose the bride. Okay, that's because you wanted Shining Armor's love. Okay, cool. Why are you so thoroughly out of character? Sure, Shining Armor doesn't have to buy it because you've hypnotized him. What about Celestia? You made it clear after you fought Celestia, like while you were fighting her, that you didn't think you could beat her. So shouldn't you have tried to have been smarter about trying to not fight her and make sure that you are as good of a cadence as possible? It's like, yeah, everyone makes excuses. We're like, oh, it's because she's a bride and blah, 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 blah. It literally feels like Chrysalis's plan works is because everyone is as dumb as she is. And it bothers me, especially as someone who read the comics. Chrysalis is really fucking smart. And that's what makes the comics with her so fucking good. Like, that first arc, like, the return of Chrysalis and then the fiendship is magic with Chrysalis, like, this is really good. This kind of saved the character for me, because this is cool, but it's dumb. The only argument I can really, the thing that makes sense to me is, if Shining Armor is the defender, I really wanted to, get him stressed out. I wanted him to make the barrier because I wanted him to be exerting himself, exerting his magic, because if he's weaker and he's stressed, he's gonna fall for my disguise that much easier, which makes it that much easier to bamboozle him and lead him astray and to hypnotize him. Okay, you know what? I buy that. That's kind of a smart plan. You know what isn't? Having your entire fucking army outside the bubble at that point. You know what's a good plan? I snuck in, here's what I did. I snuck in a more minor role at the wedding. And then, while in Canterlot, I studied the bride and how she works. And slowly but surely started phasing my army into the city under everyone's noses because they look just like everybody else. Then, once I understood how the bride worked, I took her place. Let's say she doesn't kill her because still friendships matter. I took her place and threw her in the dungeon. And because I know how she acts, I can play the part perfectly. But then I did make that threat against Canterlot, so everyone would get stressed. Everyone would be freaking out and looking for an outside threat while not looking inward. Then the bubble happens, so they think they are protected from whatever else is outside the city, not knowing that me and my entire army are already in here. Thus, you have trapped yourselves. Like, fuck, that actually makes a lot of sense and is a really good plan. And just not at all what this fucking moron did. I'm like, man, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. So after this happens, after you get the reveal, and you kind of now learn that, oh, she's an idiot. The main six are like, okay, we gotta go get the elements of Harmony to kick her ass. So they go get the elements, and they get accosted by the Changeling army in the streets of Canterlot, and oh, it's really cool. Just these moments of the Changelings turning into them, and like there's this one bit where like a bunch of Fluttershy's approach Fluttershy, so Fluttershy pretends to be a changeling, which leads the other changelings to go like, alright, that's fine, and then walk off, and then a bunch of Rainbow Dashes are about to hit Fluttershy, and then one of those Rainbow Dashes is Rainbow Dash, who starts beating the shit out of the actual changelings, picks up Fluttershy, and then gives her a little smooch. You can kind of hear the, I'm like, that's the smooch, that's wonderful. A couple episodes like, you're gay? I'm gay. And then they smooched. It's wonderful. It's lovely. Wait a second. The wedding's great. And, as this fight is going on, there's a point where Pinky's, like, the changeling is first. She's like, oh, do me! And the changeling just rolls its eyes, turns into Pinkie Pie. He's like, I've seen better. Picks up Twilight and starts using Twilight as a fucking machine gun. Like, oh, it's so cool. Fuck, that was so awesome! Wow! So after they beat the shit out of a bunch of changelings, they get into the part of the city where the elements are held. But there's even more changelings, as the place is overrun because they broke through the barrier. Not because they were already inside the barrier, but they had to break through because Chrysalis is an idiot. But there's so many fucking changelings that Sparks and the Remain 5 get arrested by Chrysalis, who's like, I win. Shining Armor, or Cadence goes up to Shining Armor, she's like, I love you, and I'm gonna give you the strength you need to put up your barrier. To which Chrysalis says, but my love will power you. Getting power off of love. What a ridiculous sentiment. You know, says the bitch who literally gets powered by the shit. Who can snort lines of love like cocaine? There's maybe an argument that she's like, oh, I'm so powerful, I can't be beaten. There's an argument that only changelings can get power from love, so ponies can't, and that's why she thinks it's stupid. I'm sorry, but hearing the character who is literally powered by love say, wow, getting powered up by love, that's fucking stupid. It gives me an aneurysm. It makes me so mad. But Cadence's love powers up Shining Armor enough to overcome the changelings really easily. You're like, oh, that's... Boy, after like the dope-ass fucking climax we had, this is a really anticlimactic ending. Wow. The main six didn't beat the villain. It had kind of nothing to do with them. It was Cadence. You know, the character who we'd never heard of before, with this strong connection to the main character, who's part of a very special, all-powerful race, and is a princess, and is just such a nice person, too. She feels like a bad OC, man. Like, all of that shit, and she saves the day. It doesn't work. The plot of this episode, if you've seen it a second time or think about it after the first time, like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. If Twilight's a character who says you shouldn't jump to conclusions, again, you can make the argument that, like, it's because of her brother, like, it's more important to her, she's more, I don't know, willing to kind of go apeshit, I guess. I get it, but that was literally the episode right before this, and she's already forgetting the lesson she was teaching someone else. I don't like that. The fact that they talk about how important her brother is to her, and we've never heard of him before, it rubs me the wrong way. Kind of everything about how Cadence is handled in this rubs me the wrong way. Chrysalis, once you understand what her plan is so fucking stupid. It rubs me the wrong way. And it only worked because everyone else was either just as dumb as her or an asshole or both, which also bothers me. This two-parter is fucking awful. That climax, though, when they're fighting that changeling army, is really cool, though. It's really cool, though. And the This Day aria is like the best song in the show so far. It's really good, though. And that scene at the end of part 1 with the evil smiling Cadence and the fire, and then the part in the next episode where Twilight is like blasting the Cadences that are mocking her, is really cool, though. I can't put it any higher than a B. I kind of feel dirty putting it that high, if I'm being honest. Like, this feels right. It feels like a more I'm neutral on it because as much as I hate it, fuck, it's cool. But I would say, like, man, a genuinely really fun climax and a phenomenal song sequence in addition to, like, that scene at the, like, evil Cadence moment. I respect it, but I don't like it. And that feels so weird to say about A Canterlot Wedding, because it is generally considered one of the best parts of the whole show, if not the best, like, most loved episode of the show. But to me, it genuinely has way too many problems that hold the good shit back. How long did I talk about that episode for? I don't know. I'll find out here in a bit. But that was season 2. We had two genuine double S tier episodes, and like these might end up being the two best episodes of the whole show. Like, if these two are not in the top 10 by when everything is said and done, I would be shocked. I'd be kind of happy, because that means, dude, there's 10 episodes that are better. That's awesome. But also, how? I would say 5 other episodes that are genuine S tiers that can compete for that. Another 9 really strong A tier episodes. Some B tier episodes, like, man, it feels weird that these two are on the same level as The Wedding. That feels so weird, man. Can I break my rule? Because I usually will say, like, I want to keep two-parters together. Because this is kind of the thing. No, because even, like, there's still some dumb shit in part 2. And there's still some cool shit at the end of part 1. They need to be together. Can I justify putting it up here? I can't. Because the bad shit is so bad. And here's the thing. I think, like, being as transparent and honest as possible. It is not just I really absolutely love it. But being objective, here are the problems. Like, no. The problems I talk about affect me while I'm watching it. It's not just yeah, when I think about it, there's issues, but I don't care. Because if that was the case, it would be in the S tier. Like, let's be real. But they bother me as I'm watching it. And if I'm actively having my enjoyment hindered by how dumb the story is, that's a problem. I can't ignore that. Yeah, I feel like there is stuff in these episodes that's better than a lot of the shit here, and probably a lot of the shit here. But the bad, for me, is just that bad. It's not this bad. It's not this bad. Or even these, like, disappointing. Because the good shit saves it. But there we go. That's season 2. I had a really good time with it. I don't know when I'm going to start season 3. It's now like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm probably not starting it today unless I just like, fuck it, let me throw on the Crystal Empire. But I don't think that's going to happen because Clay got 3 load, and so he's playing 3 load, and I'm not going to kick him off playing Persona. Trust me. But there we go. That's the season 2 tier list. All 3 parts of it, with the wedding being an entire part. I'm gonna stop here. I will start season 3 hopefully sometime tomorrow. I still have to do a video on Worm Part 8. Hopefully I can do that in the next couple days. Same with Somnium 2. I'm really looking forward to talking about that game. And I have to take my notes from the cruise and put them together so I can make a video on that. So hopefully all those videos will come out within the next week or so. Until next time, I don't know. The episode wasn't perfect, but damn, it was pretty fucking cool.